Thank you for listening to Shulchanaruchharav.com.
The following halacha is an excerpt from our Sefer, Topics in Practical Halacha, Volume 2. Available on Amazon.com or on our website, Shulchanaruchharav.com. Does baby formula require a Hashgacha? And what does one do if formula with a Hashgacha is not readily available, or the only formula available is one that is not Chalav Yisrael? So to properly understand this subject, we need to analyze two different matters. One is the general kashrus issues presented within baby formulas, and the second, the issue of feeding non-kosher food to a child, and if and when it is allowed to be done. So baby formulas contain various very serious kashrus issues. The purpose of the baby formula is to take the place of the most natural, nutrient-filled substance, which is mother's milk. And only God can create that super pack of nutrients necessary for the child, and it's left for the baby formula companies to attempt to imitate it with entering all the minerals and vitamins that the baby's going to miss from mother's milk into the formula. Now, where do all those minerals and vitamins come from? Well, one of them is milk, cow's milk. They use milk after it is dehydrated and turned into a powder, as well as powdered casein, which is a protein product found in milk. And of course are all subject to the question of chalav akum, of non-chalav Yisrael. In addition, quite often the casein is extracted through using a non-kosher enzyme, which enters into an additional problem of gvinas akum. So while there are poskim who permit powdered milk and that it does not have an issue of chalav akum, this is a machlekes amongst poskei dereinu. The additional issue of gvinas akum, for the fact that the powdered milk was extracted using a non-kosher animal derivative, would deem the casein as not kosher, even for those that view powdered milk as not an issue of chalav Yisrael. Outside of that, we have another major ingredient added to baby formulas that pose a problem. And this is applicable even to baby formulas that are pariv, that do not contain dairy products. And that is non-kosher animal ingredients. In order to emulate the mother's milk, they need to put in fats and proteins and amino acids and vitamins and minerals and sugars. And quite often these are derived from non-kosher animals. And so in a typically innocent-looking baby formula, you have so many non-kosher ingredients floating inside. And simply reading the label of the ingredients will not tell you anything. It is a very inadequate means of ascertaining the kosher status of an infant formula, as the non-kosher ingredients may be hidden in an inconspicuous manner or as a trace ingredient, either not mentioned at all or mentioned in a code term such as oleo, or natural vitamins can be used to term beef fat or non-kosher fish oil. So without doubt, regular baby formula that does not have a hashgacha is not kosher. If no supervising agency went to the plant and checked out all the ingredients and made sure that all these issues are negated, the formula isn't kosher. Okay, but what about feeding it to a child? I'm not drinking it myself, I'm giving it to an infant. Does an infant have to keep kosher? So the answer is absolutely yes. There's an Isser min HaTorah for anyone to feed non-kosher food or feed any Isser to any Jewish child, even 1 minute old. Regarding stopping a child from doing an Isser on his own is one subject, but to feed him an Isser is 100% prohibited min HaTorah, and especially when it comes to non-kosher foods, which can lead to an everlasting pagam, blemish in the soul of the child, in which case even if he's eating it on his own is brought in Shulchanaruch that we stop him from eating it. And certainly one may not actively feed him a non-kosher food. So practically everyone must be very careful to purchase baby formulas with a reliable hashgacha. We have, Baruch Hashem, today, unlike in previous times, various brands that are available with a mehadrin hashgacha of Chalav Yisrael, such as Materna under the Eida Chareda, Similac under Igod HaRabbanim of Westheim, Kendamil under Kadassi in the UK, and there are also various hashgachas under the OUD, although they are not Chalav Yisrael. Now, what do you do in a situation? Okay, lechatchila you get the kosher most mehuda formula. What do you do in a situation where either A, your baby will not take anything else, Or the doctor says your baby can only handle this and this and this, and he's allergic to all other formulas. Or you're stuck in an area that there's no formula available aside for a formula that does not have a hashgacha. What do? So it's a clear ruling in Shulchan Aruch that a child, an infant that does not have any alternative of foods to eat, you may even feed him non-kosher food due to lack of choice. So if the doctor says that this is the formula he needs for his health and he can't handle other formulas, and it happens to be it's the formula without a hashgacha, or you're stuck in an area without formula that's kosher and there's no other alternative of feeding your child, then it is mutter in such a case to feed him even non-kosher formula. Lichatchila, it's best to buy, of course, formula with an OUD hashgacha and compromise on the Chalav Yisrael aspect, as at least they have making sure that there are no other non-kosher ingredients inside. So it's always better to give OUD than to give a formula, even if it's parev that doesn't have a hashgacha. Because parev without hashgacha most likely means animal ingredients, non-kosher animal. And obviously OUD is much better than eating non-kosher. If that too is not available, then you can get even non-kosher completely, as we said. In such a case, if it's possible to add an edible but bitter substance to the formula and the infant will still be willing to consume it, then that avoids a kashrus issue, as when you make a food bitter, it loses its non-kosher status, and it's as if you're feeding him kosher food. Practically, this is difficult to accomplish because if the substance is bitter, the child will not want to eat it. Nonetheless, as a limud schus for those that are stuck in this situation and they feel very bad, they're feeding their kid non-kosher food, there are various discussions regarding if the isser of baby formula is deraisa or derabanan, as even though it may contain deraisa ingredients, biblically forbidden ingredients such as non-kosher meat derivatives, perhaps it's nullified 60 times. Chalavak and Gvina Sakim is only derabanan. Some places called you can feed a child an isser derabanan in a time of need. But whatever the case is, if Hashem tells us that we have to feed him this formula for his health, then we have to do so. In all cases, when using non-kosher formula, one is to designate separate utensils for its use, as it's not kosher, as well as one must monitor the behavior of the child and see, A, is the child now mature enough to have overcome his dependency on this formula? Can he now use other foods or other kosher formulas? Or to check in the market if other formulas have become available that he can handle which are kosher.
Thank you for listening to Shulchanaruchharav.com. Our free services of making Torah knowledge available to the public depends on donors like you. Please help us continue our work through making even a small contribution at Shulchanaruchharav.com under the Daily Halacha Dedication section or in the subscription page. Also, check out our online courses and many sefarim available for purchase that will both enhance your Torah knowledge and help support our work.